somewhere between Austin, Texas, a week on Sunday and Abu Dhabi on November 26, Lewis Hamilton will very likely win his fourth Formula One championship. Not nailed on, of course, but given the gap of 59 points that is suddenly yawning between Hamilton and his only plausible rival, Ferrari's Sebastian Vettel, and with a maximum 100 points left on the table in this season's final 4 races, it's as close as a sporting certainty as you'll get. Most bookies have Vettel around 251 to win. The best you can get on Hamilton is 501 on. Assuming the endgame does not upset those commanding odds, it will have been a very satisfying year's work for the British driver. He has a yen for the narrative of struggle and always seems to revel more in the unlikely victory than the never-in-doubt, start-to-finish win. Before Formula One summer break this year he was spluttering behind Vettel, driving a newly temperamental, very beatable Mercedes, and still marked by his ill-tempered defeat in the 2016 championship to teammate Nico Rosberg. But now look, in the 5 Grand Prix since the end of August, Hamilton has recorded 4 pole positions, which he has converted into 4 wins and a second place. The turnaround in the championship standings, an aggregate swing of 73 points in his favor, or slightly under 15 points per race, does not flatter Hamilton, even if he has been the beneficiary of an autumn meltdown at Ferrari, combining driver error with mechanical failures. Lewis Hamilton is on the brink of greatness. Mercedes, too, have fretted over and fiddled with their car, albeit not to the same extent as in the Ferrari garage. Yet their lead driver and superstar has handled his business, winning difficult races without simple car superiority to see him through. He has, as Toto Wolff put it, outperformed the car. Yes, he has been snippy and competitively bad-tempered at times, but far more mature and constructive in his criticism of the team this year than last season, where he was plainly niggled by the equivalence afforded to Rosberg, who was not a supporting teammate but an out-and-out rival. Now with the promising but junior Valtteri Bottas at his shoulder, Hamilton has been restored as the big swinger in the Mercedes stable, and has stepped up accordingly. Example at Suzuka on the weekend just gone, when Hamilton called on the team for the momentary race leader Bottas to be moved aside to allow him to lap faster. The team duly responded. Bottas moved. Hamilton was given a clear track, while behind him, the water-carrying number 2 did his best to slow down the rest of the grid. Thus spoke a hierarchy rebuilt to favor Hamilton and a faith now being repaid by him in full. The 32-year-old's talents do not come cheap and his ego is as easily bruised as butterfly wings, but this year Hamilton is giving Mercedes their money's worth. Should he close out the season as champion, Hamilton will stand as the most successful Formula One driver Britain has ever produced. He already has a list of records as long as your leg, some dating from his achievements as a brilliant debutant in 2007 and many more from the last 2 years, where after a decade of F1 racing he has begun to set records for the most pole positions, most wins at different circuits, most career points and so on. These are huge achievements for a driver from a nation that produced Nigel Mansell, Damon Hill, Sir Jackie Stewart and all. It also means Hamilton has earned the right to insist that the world indulge his occasionally rather irritating foibles. These would be unbearable in a driver of mediocre talent and no great achievement. But when you drive like a god, race like a man and win, you earn the right to gad around more or less as you choose. Hamilton stands on the brink of a truly excellent world championship victory, and for that he deserves nothing less than warm plaudits and a truckload of respect. Strachan's big idea to rescue Scotland. Getty image. Few Scots would get away with calling their national football team genetically behind, but Gordon Strachan is at the end of his tether. After Scotland failed to qualify for a bloated World Cup in which I fancy the People's Republic of Stains upon Thames would have a good shout of making the playoffs, Gordy suggested getting big women and men together to breed some new Scottish players who aren't built like, well, him. At this point anything's worth a punt, I guess. If it works, can you let Gareth Southgate know not everything makes sense? Becks I owe everything to him. Beckham pays tribute to Charlton. Heartwarming stuff from David Beckham to mark Sir Bobby Charlton's 80th birthday. The one-time Manchester United player said he owes everything to Sir Bobby for giving him a chance in the game. This is, of course, the same Beckham who in 2011 said he owes everything to Sir Alex Ferguson for more or less the same thing. And in 2013 that he owes everything to his wife and children for being amazing, etc. That's a lot of debt to pay with only one everything, David. But we take your point. Vice Presidents 'tis not worth tuppence. Vice President Mike Pence and Second Lady Karen Pence pose for a photo at the game. Reuters. It takes some chutzpah to attend a sporting match specifically in order to walk out and protest, but that's U.S. Vice President Mike Pence. Right for you. Pence flew to Indianapolis on the weekend solely for the purpose of having a pre-planned tiz at the Takaakne protests before the Colts match against the San Francisco 49ers, thus drawing some cover for his beleaguered president's lamentable administration. The NFL protests continue, and long may they do so, until all the lizards like Pence are thrown headlong into the sea. You cannot blame players if they strike. England facing number 8 crisis as Clifford undergoes scan. It has been an attritional autumn in the Premiership, and with European matches to play before the November tests, one wonders how many men will be left standing by Christmas. Jack Noel, Jack Clifford, Jonathan Joseph and Owen Farrell all took knocks of varying severity this weekend. At this rate, Eddie Jones' England squad next month is going to look increasingly like his second-string party from the summer tour. It's not hard to see why some players are talking of strikes if the season is extended. They are already, quite plainly, at breaking point.